I went to college to George Washington University and finished my paramedic degree, and subsequently was hired in Fairfax City Fire Department as a firefighter paramedic, and that was wonderful, but again, balancing my desire to be a mom and have kids. I was actually pregnant when I was hired in Fairfax City. I was a nursing mother on the job as a firefighter paramedic. Very challenging but very accepting environment. I love the team environment of emergency management and the fire service as a whole. But ultimately made a decision to find more of a day work position and prioritize my family at the time. But with that, it really came with having the relationships that I had built, not only from school at GW, professors who I adopted as mentors. They were never really assigned to me as a mentor, but I adopted them as a mentor, always went back to them for guidance and counseling, which led me to my career in Fairfax City, which subsequently led to my next career with the University of Maryland, Maryland Fire and Rescue Institute. So it kind of grew from there, and I've had some pretty awesome opportunities along the way, but I've been able to keep with that same core folks that I just kind of had an instinct about to say, hey, what do you think? I have to change careers, or I'm thinking about going back to school. So it led me not only to Maryland Fire and Rescue Institute, and then subsequently the International Association of Firefighters. I also had an opportunity, very unexpected opportunity, when President Obama was in office, to be selected and appointed by the Senate to be the Assistant Administrator of FEMA. So I took a brief stint away from the International Association of Firefighters for just about 3 years, and that was an awesome, very unexpected experience, but I was also happy to be asked to come back to the IFF when they were having some personnel changes there. So I'm in a really good position, oversee all of our grants administration and hazardous materials training, which is never anything I ever would have selected if I was in high school. That wouldn't have popped up on a career program that you would take. What's your ideal career? What's your career path? Nothing I would have ever imagined, but I'm very fortunate.
My pathway was a little different. I didn't start out as an emergency management professional. I started out as a project manager in the IT world. I received my bachelor's degree in business administration, and when I graduated from college, like a lot of people, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I started working for a company, and my ability to adapt to emerging technologies led me into the project management field. I realized that in order to grow in that field, I'm going to need credentials. And so the summer of 2014, I took continuing education courses at FCC. It was a prep course for the project management certification test. And September of that same year, I sat for the test, which was 4 hours, and I passed on my first try. I was so relieved. Shortly after that, I saw a job posting for the Mid-Atlantic Center for Emergency Management at FCC, and the position was supporting the new FEMA grant. And it looked really interesting, so I said, you know what, let's give it a try. And I went ahead and applied. And luckily for me, I was offered the position. My background was not emergency management, it was more project management, but I have since found out that my background lends itself to many opportunities and positions within the emergency management field.
My pathway into the career of working in public health started back in high school, well, maybe even junior high, when I really enjoyed science. So then in high school, I took the science courses, and then for college, I pursued a bachelor's of science in a science field. And I had a friend who was applying to medical school, so I also applied to medical school, thinking that eventually I'd go into research. But then what I discovered from the very beginning of medical school was that what I really enjoyed was working with communities. How I discovered that was when an upperclassman had asked whether some students in the beginning class of medical school wanted to work on a project to try to prevent substance abuse in an area nearby to the school, prevent adolescent substance abuse. And through that work, I discovered I really enjoy working on community issues and working with populations. So while I really enjoy being a physician as well and working one-on-one with somebody in the doctor's office. What I feel as though I can make a bigger difference is when I'm working on issues affecting the whole community. And so it's an opportunity to be able to hopefully improve the lives of even more people in the same amount of time.